So here goes my verdict on the American/German peppermint candy cane. It tastes of plastic. Oh, I've still got the wrapper on. Hello, I'm Lawrence and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to Christmas traditions. You know, growing up in Britain, I had no shortage of those myself. From Christmas crackers to party hats that look even more stupid than this one. Not to mention Boxing Day football and Christmas comedy specials. And so when I moved to America, I realised that the New World not only didn't have some of those Christmas traditions from back home, but indulged in some of its very own, sometimes borrowed from Germany. We've all done it. And in this video, I'm going to look at one of those in particular, and that is the peppermint candy cane. Now, I don't want to stand here and say that we don't roll out peppermint candy canes in Britain. We might do. It's been 13 years. I can't really remember, and that's the point. You might see them at Marks and Spencer and the like, but they were never as all-encompassing as they are in the United States. Here, they're absolutely everywhere. In fact, consumer data indicates that peppermint candy canes are the biggest selling non-chocolate sweet between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And a big part of that is that just as we do with Christmas crackers in Britain, many Americans hang these things on their Christmas trees. Obviously, it certainly helps that it comes equipped with a hook. But I suppose these aren't just used for decoration. People, in addition to children, like to eat them. But you have to wonder, why did they particularly become popular in the United States? Why are they shaped like a cane? And why are they red and white? Well, it turns out there are a lot of truths around this, and as with all good Christmas stories, a lot of myths. One story goes that a choir master in the German city of Cologne used to hand out candy sticks to the choir boys to try to get them to calm down. Evidently, this choir master didn't have kids of his own. And the board of the church took a stern line. "You can't have sweets in the church, that's sacrilegious," but just in a German accent. And so the choir master had an idea. Why not bend the top of the sticks to turn it into a cane, thus using the sweets to teach the kids about the shepherds? I think he was full of it. But nonetheless, this is the most widely held folkloric story of how the candy cane came to be. And whether or not there is any validity to this story, historians do tend to believe that candy canes originated in 17th century Europe. So where does America fit into all of this? Well, from the 17th century onward, Europeans were migrating to the Americas in droves. Now, it did take a couple of hundred years and a few wars for these to take off in the United States. In fact, one of the earliest known US references to a candy cane as opposed to a candy stick dates back to 1847, when a Swedish-German immigrant by the name of Worcester Imgard of Worcester, Ohio, decorated his tree with paper ornaments and candy canes. But even then, those candy canes wouldn't have looked like this. Throughout most of the 19th century, the red and white stripes that Americans have come to know and love didn't exist. And that's because candy canes were entirely white. And of course, this was never going to fly in 20th century America, especially when you tried to picture them hanging on Christmas trees covered in fake snow. You wouldn't see them. And so by the 20th century, when mass manufacturing had taken on a life of its own in America, so too had the red and white striped peppermint candy cane. It was in the early 1920s that a confectioners right here in Chicago called the Bunt Brothers filed one of the earliest patents for a candy cane making machine. And it's nothing to do with white Christmas trees. In fact, it was a marketing ploy. I mean, they're very eye-catching, similar in colour to the hat on my head. And it probably helped their Christmas cause that legend tied it to Christianity. Some believe that the red represents the blood of Christ and that the J shape is in honour of Jesus. Now, as far as I can tell, there's little evidence for either. And there seems to be even less agreement on the correct way to eat them. One survey found that 72% of Americans think you should eat it starting with the stick end, while 28% think you start with the hook. These findings are more or less corroborated through the results of my own poll, which I put out this evening. 76% of you said stick first, the rest of you went with hook. So please let me know in the comments below which way you think is correct. And of course, as the ultimate contrarian, I'm going to go with the minority on this and eat the hook. So here goes my verdict on the American/German peppermint candy cane. It tastes of plastic. Oh, I've still got the wrapper on. Should have done this beforehand. It's actually much better than I expected. It's sweeter than I expected, weirdly enough. I think I pictured it tasting like Colgate, and it doesn't. It's like a Jolly Rancher, really. Why have I put this off for so long? They're all right. They're not bad. Well, I have to say, I was quite concerned ahead of time that I would have to give this American tradition 2.5 Lorenzos. But I think that surprise factor might just bump that up to 4 Lorenzos. What's that? Check the box. All right. Oh, they are Jolly Rancher peppermint sticks. Do you have any real ones? All right, thank you. That's tiny. You just pulled that out of your shoe. That's disgusting. But it is peppermint, right? Okay. Yeah, it tastes like Colgate. Yeah, I'm going to get cancelled for this, but I prefer the Jolly Rancher version. Since it is Christmas time and I'm in a generous mood, I'm going to give it 3.5 Lorenzos out of 5. That's it for this episode. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the peppermint candy cane. I'm Lawrence Brown. You can follow me on Twitter at LostInThePondUS. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that my videos don't get lost in the pond. An enormous Christmas tree-sized shout out to my patrons who make these videos possible. And if you would like to become a patron of Lost in the Pond, you can do so today at patreon.com/LostInThePond. Until tomorrow's video, goodbye. This is my 3rd sugar rush of the day.